This is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Sunday! Welcome to Game Day Live, presented by the Let's Go Devils Podcast Network and the Primetime Radio Studios, along with Andrew Brew. My name is Vinnie, Parise, and I am here with Beer Baron as we get you some more New Jersey Devils hockey as they are set to take on the Nashville Predators. Welcome to all fans watching on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch. The New Jersey Devils are looking to get within 4 points of a postseason spot against Andrew Brunette and the Nashville Predators. Beer Baron, we got Shorts Guy coming in just a few minutes, but for right now,
yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. I got to tell you what, it's very positive vibes here over at American Whiskey down in downtown Newark. It's Eclipse Eve, so happy Eclipse Eve to everybody that celebrates. And to everybody that worships the sun, because tomorrow's a very big day for you. We got a lot of praying to do on our behalf over here too, because right now the Devils are within striking distance, but with that's saying it very politely, because their window of opportunity is closing quickly. And this team is, if they have any hope about making the playoffs, they're going to need a lot of help. They're going to have to do a heck of a lot of heavy lifting down the stretch here with this final 5 games. And tonight starts with no easy task, because you have the Nashville Predators coming into town.
Nashville is good. Before we move into hockey, though, you got me thinking, what is the solar eclipse situation in New Jersey?
Oh, it's big time event here. Big time event. People are excited that the sun's going to be blocked out for about 4 minutes. I don't know why. I'm not sure. Everybody's freaking out about it. There's got travel advisories on the highway as you're driving down, telling people don't stop. Just keep going. So, it's been exciting here in the great state of New Jersey, because we've had earthquakes. We're going to have an eclipse. And soon the 4 horsemen will be coming through the middle of town, I guess.
Very, very good. And we are now joined by our resident eclipse. Just kidding. He's not
Specialist,
our resident eclipse guy. He's
our
our resident. No, he's our resident wear shorts when it's negative a billion degrees guy. We're talking about Shorts Guy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's a earthquake and eclipse. The Devils are going to make the playoffs. Cats and dogs are going to get along. It's going to be
cats
madness.
And dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah, tarps are going to come off. It's going to be insane.
Tarps are off. Hey, dude, how
real
quick. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if this team does make the playoffs, that's going to be the storyline, the Earthquake Devils. Like, when the Predators, the team who's playing tonight in Newark, they got killed by Dallas. Then their U2 concert at the Sphere got canceled or whatever, and then they won 13 in a row after that. And that that took the hockey world by storm. If the Devils win every game the rest of the season, everyone's for sure going to blame the Earthquake.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They're going to be like it's what shook up the team, as Sam Wu likes to say. It shook the team up down to the foundation, and hopefully, Sam's eating veggies now. By the way, it's a whole new world. Everything's changed dramatically. Shorts Guy went to England. He came back, and the world has changed. He's even wearing the earthquake. I see he's wearing the "I Survived Earthquake" sweatshirt. He's got the 4.8 tremor on his lapel there, or his breastplate. Yeah, dude. In all seriousness, if this team finds a way to make it into the playoffs, yes, it would be somewhat of a miracle, and yes, it would be pretty incredible to watch. One hell of a run in their way to do it. But at the same time, they put themselves in this position where if they would have won those 3 games prior to this, that they had a lead and closed them out in Pittsburgh, closed them out against the Rangers. If they would have closed those games out, they would actually be in a great position right now, because they'd have those 6 points that they need desperately, and they would be in a playoff position. So the storyline of the year is underachieving in big moments, and it feels like that this team is, even if they make it in, I know Sam wants me to be a positive, but even if they made it in, it's the hill to climb to get to the top is a very daunting task for this team, in my opinion.
It would be a daunting task. Shorts Guy, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's going to be daunting, and it's a little bit more than the last 3 games, which they had a lead and lost. There have been so many games this season that they should have won. Vinny, you and I have talked about it. All those games that the Devils could have won and should have won against the lesser opponents, and they just didn't. It's a whole combination of things. I mean, we can point to the last 3, but it's really since the beginning. It's just not been a consistent season. However,
Yeah.
miracles can happen, and if they do make the playoffs, you know what? Let's put it this way: if they make the playoffs, they have nothing to lose going into the playoffs.
Oh,
And we'll just
tarps off. Tarps off for
tarps
sure.
off. Yeah. How about
Going to the
that?
playoff-
If the Devils make the playoffs, if April 15th rolls around, which I'm predicting it's going to come down to the 15th. If it comes down to the 15th, Beer Baron, the tarp's got to come off live on air.
Straight up, I'm not even going to show up with a tarp. Just no tarp at all. Just going to show up, maybe do the old painted chest. I've been hitting the gym hard. I went on that cruise. I've been hitting the gym hard because I need to work off all the crap that I ate. But I'm really doing it because I expect the Devils to make it, and I expect to be tarpless when the April 15th game rolls around. I have to ask you, Vinny. I have to ask you, Vinny. If I look at, here's my wife and my daughter are here to enjoy the game. By the way, I took my kid out rollerblading the first time ever yesterday. She crushed it. I feel like this kid is a born hockey player. This is her little buddy Tyler. Just wave, say hi.
The whole family's
family
down.
Family affair. But yeah, so it's the lost opportunities that you were talking about before. But you look at some of the games early in the year, like they had Anaheim twice, and they lost both of those games. They had other teams that they should have walked in and absolutely steamrolled.
San Jose.
Ottawa. San Jose. They just beat Ottawa. And you're like, yeah, that should have happened it was a week and a half ago when they played Ottawa, and they just absolutely got embarrassed out there. The inconsistency of this team is so unpredictable. Do you think, Vinny, and I guess what I was trying to allude to is like, I'm assuming Travis Green is not going to be there next year. Do you feel like a brand new coach coming into this team could shake it up and keep that consistency? Do you think that's the piece that's missing? Not defenseman, not goaltending. Do you think it's coaching?
I absolutely do. Now, a couple of those things are going to be put in place that you mentioned. They probably will add a defenseman over the summer. I assume they will address the goaltending position in some way, shape, or form. But if you get a coach in there that gets the guys fired up again and they bring some kind of consistency and change the way things are done here and there were some Lindy Ruff decisions made over the years here where I was kind of scratching my head a little bit. The way they've handled Alexander Holtz, even Travis Green. Some similar things. I'm not saying Alexander Holtz is perfect, and if a third coach comes in and handles him the same way, I'm going to really start to wonder if it's more Alexander Holtz than anything else. Like there's got to be something we don't know going on, because it's not like Nico Hischier was treated unfairly or Jack Hughes was treated unfairly. The two top guys in terms of minutes played since January are 20 years old, so it's not a bias against young players by any means. I don't really understand what it is with Alexander Holtz. All the advanced stats people say Alexander Holtz is the second coming of the Eclipse, and I don't get how he only plays 11 minutes per game. You wonder if,
he's got
a
poor
third
attitude.
coach. Yeah, there's something's got to give here. So I do think a new coach will kind of change the feel around the team a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be a Craig Berube who's going to come in and be real mean and change things up, or if they're going to get a Gerard Gallant who you'll get some good results in the first 2 years, and then they'll fall out of it. Yeah, you get good results for like a year and a half, and then you fall out of it a couple years later. We don't know who's going to get fired. If Pittsburgh crumbles and misses, do they fire Sullivan? I doubt it, but we'll see. There are all sorts of different personalities that could possibly come in. I do think with a new coach from training camp on, things could kind of roll around in the same direction, in a better direction, I should say.
I'm not going to repeat what Sam just wrote in the group text, but I will say maybe he is having some off-the-ice focus issues.
Could be.
No problem here. I'm multitasking over here. But
Shorts guy.
I wonder if Holtzy kind of got a bad rap from Lindy, and then like it carried over with Travis Green. So you're right. Like maybe a new coach would bring like fresh perspective to that. Sometimes it just needs a new voice like in the room to straighten a guy out. And you look at what happened with Timo Meyer, whether it was his injury that as soon as Ruff left, like his injury and playing on the right wing really, helped him. That dude erupted after Lindy was let go. So who knows what the situation was with that, but maybe it's going to be the same for Holtz.
Yeah, for sure. And you'd like to see Timo Meyer play on his natural position. I want Jack Hughes back at center. I think that'll improve things for him. All these things could come with a new coach. We'll see. Shorts guy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think a new coach could and will be good for this team. If like you guys were saying, if a third coach comes in and Holtz is still getting treated the same way, it's on the player. Travis Green was here all season, so he knows exactly what and why Holtz was kept out of the lineup. Sam has made the bold prediction that Alexander Holtz will have more goals than Alexander Ovechkin. So we'll see if that is still to come to fruition. And again, if you disagree with that, please make sure you tweet at Primetime Sam Wu with all of your all of your hate tweets at Primetime.
Yes,
Sam
especially
Wu.
the Vitek Vanacek one too. That was a good one.
Yes. But in all reality,
Season's not over, guys.
A new coach will bring a whole new system, and we could see a new coach coming in and players we like going out, and Holtz could potentially be one of those players going out if the new coach doesn't see him fitting into their system.
Absolutely. And Beer Baron off air before we started, speaking of players getting shipped out, you kind of brought an interesting little take / what if to the table. Why don't you touch on that a little bit right now? Me and Shorts Guy can kind of react and argue with each other over it, or completely agree like the eclipse, sun and the moon.
To be honest with you, like it's something that's been talked about, and it's not like we're breaking ground like the first guys to ever say it, but Bratt plus whatever, whether it be picks or another player, defenseman, young prospect, Seamus Casey for Brady Tkachuk. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, no, how dare you? Now, you have to understand, before like I really get into this, I love Jesper Bratt. Absolutely love him. I feel like he's a lifelong Devil. I feel like he's cut from the same cloth as like a Patrick Elias, a guy that flies under the radar for the rest of the NHL. But as fans here, like we absolutely love him because we see everything that he does. He keeps eclipsing, pun intended, his career highs and totals. Last year, he set a career high. This year, he breaks that career high. Next year, if he keeps projecting, he's going to start to become one of those players that's really pushing like 100 points a season on a regular basis. So right now, his trade value, and listen, he's locked up with a pretty reasonable contract for the next couple of years, for the next 7 years, 6 years or 7 years, however it shakes out. So you have a player that has great term. You have a player that has a lot of offensive upside. Whoop, and there goes something as I drop it. Is he going to be the answer? Could you trade him using his I don't know what you say, his draft, or not draft capital, but his capital right now, and try to get a Brady Tkachuk, who, in my opinion, is a player that this team could really use. A gritty forward who's going to be able to go out there and answer the bell for a few things and fill in a few needs for this team.
Shorts Guy, you first.
Well, to go along with the theme, I do know that if Bratt was traded, there would be a total eclipse of many hearts out there, as far as as far as him leaving. But now that we got the awful pun aside or out of the way, if we want to bring in a player like Brady Tkachuk, who, if you look at him last night, he had 16 hits, which is an NHL record since they started keeping track of hits in one game. 16 hits in one game. If we're going to bring in a player of his caliber, we have to be ready to say goodbye to somebody. And I know you mentioned Seamus Casey, Beer Baron, and I know that's like that's sacrilege to suggest Seamus Casey should be let go to one Vinnie Parise, who is above me on the screen. But we will have to say goodbye to a player or two. potentially some prospects if we want to bring in these pieces. And let's not forget, we're looking to upgrade in gold too. So it's a matter of
Yeah.
what are we going to give up versus what we're going to take in, what's going to be the return on the investment, and what will be the best return on investment. So I'll now hand it over to you, Vinny. Beer Baron suggesting your boy Seamus Casey be traded. That would be a total eclipse of your heart if that were to happen.
I do find it funny that the day after Brady Kachuk just makes a complete fool of himself and attacks Nico Heischer for literally tapping it into an empty net at an inappropriate time, according to Brady. And listen, let me make it clear. I love the Kachucks. I wish I could go to a Kachuk store and buy one for the New Jersey Devils. I think they're wonderful. I would make that trade in a heartbeat. When I talk about giving up Seamus Casey and how sacrilegious it is in my world, that's giving it up for a 37-year-old goaltender or something like that. Like if it were UC Saros, maybe, I'd be all in on moving Seamus Casey. I just think he's gonna be a real good defenseman in the NHL. And there's gonna be growing pains. He's gonna have a rookie year where he's gonna make mistakes and be minus 20 like Luke Hughes, and people are gonna go, I thought you said he was awesome. And I'm gonna say the same thing I'm saying about Luke Hughes. The offensive upside is through the roof. I saw him play. That's the thing. I'm a little biased. I saw him, Luke Hughes, and Fantilli play in the same game for Michigan. And, it was unreal. Those guys they're different compared to their peers. You could just see it. Mm-hmm. And I'm very excited about that potentially being on the Devils. But if it were for Brady Kachuk, I will drive to Michigan, pick up Seamus Casey, roll over to New Jersey, get Jesper Bratt in the car, and then drive them both to Ottawa, get Brady Kachuk, bring him back to New Jersey, try to drive around the earthquake, then come back home to Chicago. That's how much I would make that trade. If you put Kachuk on a line with Heischer or Hughes in a regular season NHL game, I think magic would happen. And he's a little extra mean. The offensive upside with Bratt. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, you're right. No, I was going to say you put him on a line with like Timo Meier, and that line would just wreak havoc. It would be one of the you would have a line of just bulls. You'd have a line that would just bully people around. And I mean, and that's the thing. It's in my opinion, I love Brad. I don't want people to think oh my God, you want to get rid of him. No, I'm just saying his trade value right now is probably at its highest. And in my opinion, if you're gonna go into a team and try to pull away a Brady Kachuk, you're gonna have to wow them with something. He is that wow factor. He is that big chip. And this team right now, the way it's constituted, yes, are they contenders? Sure. Maybe you get a Saros or you get another piece. Dougie Hamilton comes back. He's healthy. Everybody stays healthy. Jack gets this, what I think is going to be the inevitable shoulder surgery over the summer. Because I guarantee you, if they miss the playoffs, you're going to get a week out of the season, and then Jack Hughes is going to be announced as needing, shoulder surgery. Shoulder surgery. That's hard to say. But I feel like something's off with him. He doesn't seem right. He's going to get that surgery right after the season ends. But bringing in a Kachuk is going to, if somebody goes and runs Jack, which happens all the time. If somebody runs Luke Hughes, which happened all the time, you will have a dude on your bench that will be able to answer the bell. And it doesn't have to be a Curtis McDermott. And I love Curtis McDermott too. But guess what? I would trade a million Curtis McDermotts for the opportunity to have a Brady Kachuk on the team who'll go out there and fight if he needs to fight. But at the same time, guess what he's also going to do? Put up offensive numbers. Be a wrecking ball out there. A dude that's going to be a difference maker in a division that's sometimes could be some tough dudes out there. So the team is soft. And in my opinion, Brady Kachuk could fix a lot of that.
I'm with you. And Brady Kachuk had 16 hits in the game yesterday. And this is a real stat. Seven of them were against Brennan Smith. But even still, if you take away the seven that he hit on Brennan Smith, laying out 9 hits against the other defensemen and forwards on the Devils, it was a solid game for Kachuk in that department. He makes an impact out there. And I also have this weird dream that for Team USA next year and the year after with the Four Nations Cup and then the Olympics the following year, Jack Hughes centers a line with Matthew Kachuk and Brady Kachuk, and we call it the Jack Ass line. I just think that would be totally so fun. And my number one dream right now is to have the Jack Ass line with Jack Hughes and then the 2 Kachuk brothers, it would just be perfect. But yeah, I'm all for it. I like the idea. We'll see if a big, bold move is made like that over the offseason. But, first things first, they got to try and finish this season strong, and it starts with a big game tonight here against the Nashville Predators. I encourage people to go into the chat right now and throw in your predictions before Beer Baron, Shorts Guy, and myself and Sam Wu give our predictions on tonight's game. But before we get going on that, guys, I'm a little thirsty.
Vinny, I was going to say, Vinny, I was going to say, while you're doing all this driving of players and stopping in New Jersey, you could grab some beverages while you're here in the state.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm thirsty, I make it known, but I don't always know what to get.
I know. Well, let's see. Probably an adult beverage you can only get in the state of New Jersey.
Interesting.
One that looks deliciously red, like the one Beer Baron has in his hand.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Grape juice? No, grape juice is purple. Short guy.
That's purple.
No,
that's
great.
purple.
Yeah.
No.
Ain't no ruby red, baby. Ain't no ruby red.
Let's see.
I've had green beer before. I'm not sure about red beer, though.
Yeah, red beer.
Red beer?
Yeah, red beer. How about red beer out of a green can?
Oh.
What kind of voodoo
now you're onto
wizardry are
something.
you talking about?
You're onto something over there.
Are you Harry Potter?
I am not. But I did just see the 9 3/4 platform on Friday.
Love that.
Nice.
Slytherin!
So what should you drink? What's that can to the lower corner of the screen? I can't read it.
Top corner or lower corner? Because I'm not really
Top
feeling
corner.
whiskey. I'm not feeling
Top
whiskey.
corner.
Lower corner.
Lower corner.
Yep.
Is that the red one?
Yeah, well,
Green
it's a
can,
red
red
beer.
Get to it
logo?
already.
Yeah.
There's enough predictions. Let's go.
And crew brew as it gets shaken by the earthquake in the bottom right corner. Join our crew today and drink and crew brew, where we make winning memories together, one crew at a time. And crew brew.
Whoa.
It's an earthquake.
Here we go again. It's getting shaken up.
I love that bit. That's my new favorite bit on the show. I
Oh,
think.
my God.
Just how loud am I going to yell it this time?
Your
That's
poor
great.
neighbors.
All right, let's get
Your
to some
poor neighbors.
predictions.
All right, let's see.
Yeah,
we
they
got
can't
a
hear.
ton.
They can't hear.
We
We got a
in the
ton
chat.
rolling in.
We got a lot. We got Michael says 5-4, Devils in overtime. Stephen Engel says 5-3, Preds. Whoa, Stephen Engel, he's living in a world called reality, folks.
That's what he does, though. He predicts the other team.
he does
likes
do that.
it. Yeah, he likes to go the other way. 3-2, Nashville in OT. Woo, that's from Arden Nunez. I don't know about that, man. I don't like when they predict the other way. Select the boy 4-3 Devils. You should get an and crew brew, says Sean. 4-2. Joseph says Devils. Michael Rossi says 4-3 Preds. There's a lot of Preds. Dang, guys. Come on. What are we doing over here? Max, our good friend Max. And we have to, by the way, Sam sent us something from Max that we have to go over really quickly at the end of the show. Max did a lot of research and a lot of hard work that I think he needs to get called out for doing an awesome job of kind of laying out what every team, how many possible points they have and everything else like that. Max says 7-2. Devils catch fire.
Sam Wu prediction.
That is a Sam Wu prediction. Max also said Burnett goes crying because he sees the team he could have had. Collect Record says 4-3 Devils in overtime. Brooks says 3-2 Devils. Sean says 3-2 Devs. I'm going to try 2-1. But they're going to give out. So things come in too quick. All right, so boys, we got a lot of predictions.
Yep.
We're feeling it. We're here at The Rock. We're live at American Whiskey. Live. Because that's how we do it in this show. I'm going to have to go out there. I'm going to say this.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, let's hear your prediction.
Let's hear it,
I'm going to say 4-2 Devils win. It's not going to be like letting up the first goal. I think the Devils are going to come out 2-0, look impressive, go down 2-1 or get to 2-1, and then they're going to roll away with it 3-1. Predators going to score a goal late in the third, and the Devils are going to seal it with an empty netter. 4-2.
There you
Okay.
go. Love that. And our buddy Sam Wu, he actually gave a non-Sam Wu prediction.
Yeah.
He just said 4-3 New Jersey Devils, which is an absolutely possible real score in today's game against the Nashville Predators. Shorts guy, what do you think is going to
All
happen?
right. So I think we're going to see a good game out of the Devils today. Plus, we're going to see a good goaltender in UC Saros. I know that Ted, good friend of the
Future
podcast, good friend of the podcast, Ted is at tonight's game, and he's excited to see Saros and see him play in person tonight. I'm excited to be able to sit and watch him play. I haven't seen Saros play a lot live. But that being said, it's going to be a little bit difficult to score on him because he's a good goaltender. But I think the Devils are going to come away with this one with a score of 3-2 against the Predators of Nashville, who the Devils were almost Nashville's team.
3-2.
That's true.
Interesting. I love Nashville. It is one of my very favorite cities to visit in the United States of America. Been there twice. A lot of fun. I hope they have a miserable night tonight. Watching their team from all the great bars there on Broadway because they're on the road here in New Jersey. The Devils win this game 5-3. I'm going 5-3 as well.
Okay.
I like the 5-3 score for today's game. So let's get to the final order of business before we head out of here. The possible situations going on with the Devils and the surrounding teams in the standings as they all try to make the playoffs. Beer Baron, I'll pass it off to you on that.
Yeah, so right now the Devils have 5 games remaining and a possibility of 88 points. The problem is the Islanders sit right now at 85 points. The Red Wings sit at 84 points. The Flyers at 83 points. So there's a lot of teams that are already in the 80s. Point totals possibility for the Islanders if they win out, who they have 5 games remaining, could be 95. The Red Wings could be 94, 93. So there's going to be a whole lot of losing if the Devils are going to be. We need a lot of losers. A lot of losers coming walking out. So let's just put it this way. If the Islanders win if the Islanders go 1-4, that's good for us because they only get to 87 points. If the Red Wings go 1-4, I don't know if we have the tiebreaker over the Red Wings. I don't know. I'd have to look into that.
We have the tiebreaker almost everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so even if the Red Wings go 2-3, the Red Wings can go a possibility of 2-3, and if we run the table, we still get in. The Penguins, if they go 2-3, and we still run the table, we can get in. So it's not like we need everybody to lose out because that's impossible. Same thing with the Flyers. If the Flyers win actually 2 games. So the same thing. The Flyers win 2 games, Capitals win a possibility of 3 games, and the Sabres I think are out of it anyways. But is there a possibility? It's very, very small. It's very, very small, but hey, crazier things happen. And Max, thank you so much for doing all the legwork on that.
Yeah,
because,
seriously.
Yeah, I mean, listen, having a team go 2-3 down the stretch is not an unrealistic thing. Watching Islanders go 2-3, watching the Red Wings go 2-3. Red Wings did win today, but watching some of these teams go in a non-500 schedule for the rest of the way is not a unreasonable thing. The thing that needs to happen, though, the more important thing is the Devils need to win, and they need to win out. So if they lose any game in the next 5, that's it. Curtains. Done. Dunzo.
Yeah.
Unless other things go wild. Unless like every team above them absolutely does go winless. And listen, the Devils play the Islanders and they play the Flyers in this stretch too. So
yeah,
anything can happen.
Toronto.
Anything can
We
happen.
got 2 games against Toronto.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the Capitals haven't won. The Capitals haven't won since they went on that hot stretch and got themselves into a playoff spot. but they're playing
Yes.
right now and they're winning 1-0 over Ottawa. Max Pacioretty has scored, so need Ottawa to figure it out and come back in that game. But it's not the end all be all. The Devils just need to not. I think the tragic number would be 5. Any combination of 5 points by Detroit or lost by the Devils would result in their elimination. So, yeah, this is craziness. It's absolute craziness with all these teams involved.
Yeah. It really feels like nobody wants it. It really feels like nobody wants it. And to be honest with you,
Nice
like,
looking.
and look, hey, you're going to have to play either the Rangers or the Boston in the first round, and there's a strong possibility that team is just going to absolutely smoke you. But the team that I'd be most afraid of is a team that goes on a 6-game heater to make it into the playoffs. Because guess what? They've been playing Game 7 every single night. And they've been playing with a purpose. And they've been playing with their hair on fire. And those are the types of teams that go on these, like, insane runs. Not saying they're going to win a cup. Not saying they'll make it even to the Eastern Conference Final. But that is definitely not a team you want to see in the first round. Because a lot of those first place teams, when you're getting into the playoffs, you're kind of coasting in. You've clinched. The Rangers, the Bruins, like these top teams, they've clinched for like almost a month. So they're just good. They're fine. Those are the teams that, like, you catch, they're snoozing. You get a team that's hot that had to fight their way in. So you see these crazy upsets. AKA the Panthers
true.
last year against the Bruins.
Yeah.
Who were in a very similar situation. I think they already started to get going by now and didn't
by
need
now,
all
yeah.
these crazy scenarios. But
No.
weirder things have happened in sports, let alone the NHL.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yep. So, guys, it's been a great show. I've really enjoyed doing
Yes.
this with the two of you. Beer Baron, get in the game. Have a great time with your family. I know
Yes,
that
sir.
when Shorts Guy shows up to the game with youngsters, Timo Meyer's a guarantee to score. So hopefully Timo Meyer's a guarantee to score with some of these young lads going to the Devils game. And I hope everybody enjoyed today's show. Make sure you watch Devils After Dark after to hear a recap of the game that was. For Beer Baron, for Shorts Guy, for Sam Wu, and everybody at the Let's Go Devils Podcast Network. Drink and Crew Brew, and let's go Devils.